there, my name's Andy. I'm going to be doing the BookTube newbie tag today. I've decided to start a BookTube channel and thought this is probably the best place to start. A little bit about me beforehand. I'm 27, I live in Scotland, more specifically Fife, and I have been meaning to make a video for the longest time and just haven't because, well, probably a lot of excuses, but now here we are. So I've got the questions on my phone and I'll just pull them up and get started. Okay, question 1. Why did you start this channel? So the reason I started this channel is because I love reading. You can see my shelves behind me. But I don't have that many people I can speak to about books, so I decided that why not reach out to a community that's already there, that's already something that I'm a part of and that I love, and this way I get to speak about books and talk to others about books, and that's really the main reason why. Question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? So I'm not sure about fun and unique, but I am a reader who struggles to bring coherent thoughts to my reviews. So I feel like you've got so many booktubers that are so clear and concise and know what they're talking about, and I'm going to come in here like a hot mess for the rest of the hot messes out there who just describe the way they love books in noises and expressions. Other than that, I also have a genetic disability called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have the hypermobile type, so you will also get a unique perspective on what it's like to live with something like that and how that affects the way that I interact with books. There's not really that much disability rep so far that I've read, and it is something that I'm interested more in getting into. Okay, question 3. What are you most excited about for this new channel? I'm excited about having something extra as a hobby. I'm excited to be able to talk to others about books, and I'm excited to have the back and forth of people who may see things in a different light. So I'm really excited to get different angles, because that's something I've discovered over the past few years of reading, is that you can read one thing one way and someone else will read it completely differently, and sometimes it doesn't match up and sometimes it will match up really well, and all of a sudden you've got this new outlook on your book, you know, and I think that's just going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. Question number 4. Why do you love reading? So reading for me has always been the easiest way for me to consume media. I'm not a big movie person. I don't look at movies or TV series or anything like that analytically. The way I look at things analytically is usually through books. So I love the way that words can bring a picture into your head, and you know, you don't need any visuals. Your imagination can do it all, and I love the way that it's a way to boost my imagination. I'm really bad for, you know, if someone goes into a house and says, imagine this decorated this way, not a clue. I have not a clue. I can't do that. I can't. My spatial awareness is awful, but if you describe it to me the way some authors do, then I have them in my head, and it's amazing, and it's just probably one of the best things about reading. Question 5. What book or series got you into reading? Now, this is verging on being a controversial one. Like many people my age, and probably younger than me as well, Harry Potter was really the first series that I read. So I got Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban on the Christmas that I turned 7. So I got those for Christmas, and they were the first books that I read to myself. The rest of the books before that were all read by a parent or, you know, someone else to me. But that's the first time I really remember gripping onto something, and I know it's like that for most other people. And as much as I love the world of Harry Potter and I love being a Ravenclaw, unsurprisingly, I am at that point where I will no longer support J.K. Rowling, and to be fair, I've not supported her for a long time because of some of the things that she's said, done, etc., and they just don't align up with what I believe. So as far as I'm concerned, Harry Potter is one thing, J.K. Rowling is another. She gave us this great thing, and then the fandom took over, and now it belongs to us. She can't touch it. I know some people don't feel that way, I know some people feel like they've been betrayed and they cannot separate the art from the artist, but because it is so ingrained, like I say, I got these when I was 7, that's 20 years ago, it's so ingrained. I've never been that person to think of authors over stories, so for me, Harry Potter has been a life-changing, important thing, and I will never support J.K. Rowling, but I do love the series and it is what got me into reading, so that answers the question. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? So I have been watching BookTube for a while now. Some of my favourites, we've got Reagan over at Prue's Project, Sasha at A Book Utopia, Hayley from Hayley Bookland, Jessie from Bow Ties and Books, Jediday from The Story Ain't Over, probably butchered her name because I didn't write it down. So I think a lot of the questions I would want to ask is probably just how do you keep it going, how do you keep consistency, how do you keep motivation, how do you deal with a lot of the pressure, and how the heck do you make those thumbnails, and how do you make those outros because they're incredible, or title screens. Oh, that also reminds me, Lala, Kayla, she's fabulous. One of my favourites, she's the same age as me, so it gives a totally new perspective for me. She's brilliant. Question 7. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So for me, I am quite bad for getting into reading slumps, and the more I feel pressured to read, the less I'm likely to read. Hashtag relatable. So I think just keeping up consistency is going to be the thing for me. I think I will be that person that will backlog videos, so I will film videos one after the other and then put them up as consistently as possible. But also with my Ehlers-Danlos, my ADS, it will be a struggle sometimes just to get up and film, because even right now, I don't know if you can see the angle that this shoulder's at compared to this angle, but I have potentially dislocated or subluxated this shoulder, so even I can't really lift anything with the shoulder right now, and it made setting up the camera pretty difficult. Yeah. Question 8. When did you start reading? So like I say, I started reading to myself really when I was 7, but I've always been, as far as I remember, I've always been a reader. I was read books too when I was younger, and yeah, so I've been reading consistently since I was about 7. So question 9. Where do you read? So I read mostly downstairs in our living room on the recliner sofa. This is all in the office / library / spare room. I've got 3 of my shelves here. I've got 1 in my bedroom because we're still kind of renovating this room a bit, so there will be more books going in here. I've got some gaps that you can probably see, because I've taken all my TBR off the shelves to put onto a separate shelf. So this chair as well, this is where I will be reading once this is all set up. It is the comfiest chair ever. If I had a footrest for it, which I'm eventually going to get, I would fall asleep. It belonged to my wife's grandmother, and now it's mine to use because everyone else in the house, which is my wife and my brother-in-law, are too tall to sit in it because they're all well over 6 feet, and I have a short arse at 5'2", so my head doesn't dangle over the back and it's just nice and comfy. So actually this is where I read, but right now, downstairs. Occasionally I'll read in my bed, but my butt goes numb, so I don't tend to read there as much. Okay, so last question, question 10. So the last question is, what kind of books do you read? So I'm not sure how much you can see on the camera, but I've got everything set out by genre. This entire shelf down here, which is 6 shelves, is all young adult dystopian, with some urban fantasy. So we've got all my Shadowhunter books here, and above that is like your some more sci-fi, fantasy, young adult. So I've lumped it all together. So these are adult romances, True Blood, and then we've got my adults and then contemporaries down at the bottom of this one as well. I've mixed my contemporaries, young adult and adult, it's just all the same. And up here is all of my historical fiction. So I've got this shelf and the one above it are all historical fictions, and then this shelf and this shelf are middle grade, although this entire shelf is Percy Jackson related. There's the Kane Chronicles and then the rest of my middle grade. And then down here I've got every Patricia Cornwell Scarpetta novel, and the one below is all of my non-fiction. So mostly, as you can see, I like to read young adult dystopians or young adult fiction in some way. Historical fictions are probably my favourites. Other than that, this is all one series. This is all Lindsay Sands' Ours New series. I will always buy them the minute they come out, and annoyingly somewhere up here you can see where they changed the covers. But such is life. That is the BookTube newbie tag. I have just noticed that most of the way through the video I have probably been staring at myself in the viewfinder, so apologies for that. I will try and get better. Maybe stick some googly eyes on the camera just to make sure I've got something to look at. That's definitely another challenge I'll need to work on. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, and I will hopefully see you soon with another video. I think the next video I'm going to put up are my Newts TBR, because that's the next big thing that I'm sort of doing. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you like the video, maybe subscribe, have a chat with me in the comments. If there's any books you see up here that you want to discuss or you want me to do my thoughts on, any that you recommend based on your likes, or anything that you see here. And I will link all of the YouTubers I've mentioned down in the description, so go check them out as well, if you've not already heard of them, because a lot of them are quite big YouTubers. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye!